Dear Mozarteum Hellas members, dear friends, dear colleagues, it is with a great pleasure that I welcome you in the 2021 Mozarteum Annual General Meeting and Conference. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and the required health restrictions, this year's event will take place virtually. I would like to ask all of you now to have your cameras and microphone closed during the event. The event will be recorded and uploaded to Mozarteum Hellas website and YouTube channel. Today's event is under the auspices of the Austrian Embassy here in Athens and to the Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg. Finally, I would like to thank our member, Professor Andrea Papatheodorou, and Aegean University that kindly offers Zoom platform for the event. And now I would like to introduce Mozarteum Hellas President, Ms. Evgenia Votanopoulou. Ms. Votanopoulou, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mozarteum Hellas members, all protocol observed. I would like to welcome you to our first event of Mozarteum Hellas for 2021. First, I would like to thank the Austrian Embassy in Athens and Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg, as the event is under their auspices, as well as our member, Professor Andreas Papatheodorou, and the Aegean University that kindly offered the Zoom platform for this event. Before I present the annual report of Mozarteum Hellas activities for 2020, let me share with you a few words about our organization. Mozarteum Hellas was established in March 2019. In June of the same year, Mozarteum Hellas was registered as a not-for-profit organization and became a member of the International Stiftung Mozart Communities. Mozarteum Hellas' mission and goals, as reflected in the statutes, are fostering classical music in Greece, fostering and disseminating Mozart's music heritage, organizing lectures, seminars, conferences, recitals, concert performances, workshops, music events related to Mozart's work and to other composers. Another important aspect of our aims is to advance music education in Greece. We want not only to make music education more visible in Greece, but also to help and empower young talents and aspiring music professionals to strengthen their competences and capacities through scholarships and exchange programs. Looking back on the year 2020, despite the challenges of last year, Mozarteum Hellas participated just before the start of the pandemic in the 2020 Mozart Week and the annual working session of the Mozart communities, which was held in Salzburg. On Monday, 27th of January 2020, the day of birth of Mozart, the first annual general meeting of Mozarteum Hellas was held and the board of directors was elected. During 2020, we organized 2 concerts for our members, one during the annual general meeting and one during the summer. Mozarteum Hellas Summer Concert was held on the 13th of July. Unfortunately, due to the lockdown, we couldn't organize any other physical event. Finally, on 27th of November, Mozarteum Hellas participated in the virtual Mozart Tag organized by Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg. Today, we are honored to have in our conference the participation of Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg with a keynote address by Dr. Tobias Debuch, CEO, and by Ulrich Leisinger, Head of Research Department, who will make the presentation of the new Mozart piece 94 Seconds, a work that made the world premiere in the Digital Mozart Week on Wednesday, 27th January 2021. We really need to focus on culture and music more than ever. We need the power of music more than ever. And it is truly remarkable how much power, joy, and light exist in only 94 seconds of Mozart music. Let's hope that this year will bring us back together. Let's hope that music will unite us again all. Thank you very much. I'm now pleased to welcome the Ambassador of Austria, Her Excellency Magistra Hermine Poppeller, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you very much, dear President of Mozarteum Hellas, Evgenia Votanopoulou, dear Secretary General of Mozarteum Hellas, Dr. Kostas Iatrou, dear Dr. Tobias Debuch, and dear Dr. Ulrich Leisinger from Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg. Ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, I'm very happy to be part of the 2021 Mozarteum Hellas Annual General Meeting and Conference, which, due to the circumstances this time, is being held online. Culture is facing tough times, indeed. Artists and cultural institutions are struggling, very often fighting for survival. Financial support of governments helps a little bit. But at the same time, governments all over the world are forced to shut down cultural activities in order to reduce social contacts to prevent the coronavirus from spreading further. It was a bitter year for culture, especially for musicians. Concert halls are empty, opera houses are empty, operas and concerts are performed only for an online audience or a TV production. But at least something is going on again. Online concerts and online cultural events at least can break the silence which the pandemic brought over the cultural world. Therefore, it was an excellent idea to hold the annual general meeting 2021 of Mozarteum Hellas online to show that even lockdowns will not prevent artists, musicians, and people who work in the cultural management to continue performing, to continue networking and planning for the post-pandemic times. Austria is especially proud of her cultural heritage in general and the musical heritage in particular, proud of the world-famous son of Salzburg, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. It is an honor to listen to the CEO of Mozarteum Salzburg, Dr. Debuch, and the head of the research department of Mozarteum Salzburg, Dr. Leisinger, at today's meeting. Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg is known worldwide amongst the fans of classical music as the so-called guardian of the precious heritage of Mozart's music in Austria. Mozarteum Hellas, which was founded only in 2019, aims to bring more Mozart to Greece, to increase the performances of Mozart compositions in Greece, to network with Mozarteum foundations worldwide. The Austrian Embassy in Athens engages since many years in organizing and supporting cultural activities, music, literature, painting, sculpture, film, architecture, and so on. As far as music is concerned, our main aim is to support young Austrian artists performing modern, contemporary music, jazz, and also classical music in Greece. 6 years ago, the Austrian Embassy started with the project of the Austrian Greek Music Summer, a cycle of concerts organized together with Greek partner institutions all over Greece. And it became a wonderful musical bridge between Austria and Greece. Our plans for the 5th edition of the Austrian Greek Music Summer 2020 were ambitious, but faced with the lockdowns and travel bans and shutdown of cultural live performances, we were forced to move online. And we were able to present quite a number of concerts in digital form. The outstanding Austrian and Greek participating artists were asked to send in videos, often also specifically produced for the program. 54 artists joined the initiative with 11 virtual concerts and 2 live concerts broadcasted on Facebook. My deputy at the embassy, Martina Herrmann, and our colleague, Kara Mamata, are currently working on the 2021 edition of the Austrian Greek Music Summer. And we hope that this year, again, we will be able to organize concerts for a live audience. Everybody is hungry for live concerts. I wish that Mozarteum Hellas this year will also be able to organize live concerts and other events. Last year, one nice cooperation project between the Austrian Embassy and Mozarteum Hellas could unfortunately not be realized due to COVID restrictions. I've heard about some interesting plans, and I'm very much looking forward to a fruitful cooperation between the Austrian Embassy and Mozarteum Hellas in 2021. We will show now a short video which gives an overview of the Austrian Greek Music Summer 2020, the special digital edition organized by the Austrian Embassy in 2020. I hope you will enjoy it. Best wishes for Mozarteum Hellas in 2021, and a big thank you to Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for your support, for your kind words about Mozarteum Hellas. And now it's a great pleasure to Mozarteum Salzburg, a very good friend to me personally and to Evgenia, and to deliver his keynote address. Tobias, the floor is yours.
Dear Kostas, dear Evgenia, dear Mrs. President, And Your Excellency, verehrte Frau Botschafterin, thank you all for being here, and I hope you can hear me now, because the quality of Zoom is always changing, and I hope so. Please tell me if everything works fine and you can get me here from Salzburg. I can just only congratulate you all, and especially the Mozarteum Hellas, and obviously the ambassador of Austria, for all these programs you did and you made in the last month and the last years, which always shows to me and to us that music is the universal language in which we all can communicate and which speaks to every one of us. And one of the great and the greatest communicators in these terms is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and he is our boss here in Salzburg, and he is obviously the one why we meet here now and why we meet today. And just because it is that Mozart and his music isn't only a Salzburgian treasure, it is not even only an Austrian treasure, it is a worldwide treasure. It speaks, he and his music speaks to everyone, may it be in Greece, may it be in China, or may it be in Colombia. And that's the reason why we have a long tradition here from the Salzburg Mozarteum Foundation to have partners, to have Mozart societies and friends all around the world. As one of you, or one of them, is the Mozarteum Hellas, and I'm just really thankful for Evgenia to found it, to erect it, and to really create such a breath of life, breath of Mozart in Athens and in Greece. So that's a big thank you to all of you and to all the friends and members of Mozarteum Hellas. Obviously, we are talking about COVID. Everyone is in the cultural industry is about COVID and about this pandemic. And I just can tell you that there's no secret behind that. Every cultural institution in Austria and around the world is hit very hard by this pandemic, and that we all have to compete and to fight and to do our best to keep culture and music alive, and to keep also the financial and the processual structures in the back and the ecosystem alive, because this is really, really heavy for the cultural industries. Especially if you're looking at the Mozarteum Foundation here in Salzburg, which is one of the last really institutions on a European level which is not really living from subventions. We are more or less really gaining our success by ourselves. We are not really dependent on subventions. So this hits us even harder, but we try our best. And obviously we still, and we have him, we talk about Mozart, and even in those, or especially in those times where we live now in COVID times, music and Mozart is speaking even more to ourselves and is giving us more than ever. I have a small presentation for you all, or small pictures here from Salzburg, because I just want to show you all the things we do despite Corona, and despite this empty halls, and despite the silence, more or less, in the concert halls we experience. Luckily, we have had a lot of good decisions before this crisis and before the lockdowns here in Austria and in Salzburg began, and we can really live on that lived on that for the last year. So we really have some wonderful stories to share. And the last one is this premiere of the new Mozart piece we could found and could buy 1 year ago, which we could present to the world a few days ago on Mozart's 265th birthday on the 27th of January. So let me share my screen. I will try to bring you some pictures to my words, which is hopefully more interesting than just only my words. You should see it now, hopefully. Yeah?
Yes, we see it.
Perfect. So I will really, that seems a lot, but it's a short presentation. The first thing I wanted to talk to you is one of our treasures in the Salzburg Mozarteum Foundation is our collection of autographs. We own a lot of them, and especially if you look at the letters of the Mozart family, we are the best known on, or we have the most famous collection of these letters, and we could achieve to buy and to find even 3 of them, 3 new letters, also before COVID came, and we had it already in our autograph vault, and then we could present it. And when the crisis came, and we could really share these good stories and these good news to the world, because one of those letters, which is, you can see it as in a small facsimile picture on the left side, is one of, let's say, really the most touching and therefore perhaps most known letters from Wolfgang to his father. It is the last letter he wrote to his father Leopold before Leopold Mozart died. And in this letter, Mozart already knew when he wrote it that his father was seriously ill. So at some point in this letter, he really changes the mood of the writing. He changes the mood and talks and writes about death. It's one of the most famous sentences and phrases of Mozart, where he really speaks of death as one of the best friends of mankind, or of men, which is very touching when you know it, then when he wrote it or why he wrote it, and that these are the last words from Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart to his father. So this is really a treasure for Austria, for Mozart, and even for everyone, because it is the first time ever that we could see this letter. I don't know, this sounds perhaps like a little detail, but this letter, the text was known for hundreds or for years. Everyone knew these phrases of Mozart's talking about death being the best friend for men, but no one knew the letter. It was unknown, really the autograph. And if you look at the autograph, you find some special things. You find that it's deeply Masonic. You find some symbols in it, and it's really giving a new light on this letter. So this was the first thing we could do when the crisis began. We could show the world some new treasures of Mozart, and hopefully everyone could really participate. A second thing, which really is important for us here in Salzburg, and which is also, let's say, one of the pros, or the things on the pro side of this damn crisis. You have time to look at your infrastructure. You have time to rebuild, to renovate, and to bring things new in the halls, in the concert halls, in the buildings, because they are empty. There are no concerts. And one thing we could arrange, and luckily we decided this also long before the crisis, we could build a new concert hall directly on the left side of the main building of the Mozarteum Foundation, which is this blue one, which you see here on the screen. So if you look on the left side of this building, there is the Großer Saal, the concert hall, and directly left again is this wonderful, let's say, Italian building, which we could rent, which we could get access to for the foundation, and where we now have a lot of new offices, and where we now have, what you see there, a new concert hall in the down in the cellar, which is really like a studio, which has place for more than 150 people, and which is already a good new thing for us here in Salzburg, because obviously there's so much music going on and so much rehearsals, and this is really the brand new modern concert hall here at the Mozarteum Foundation. So this is also something we could really, we are proud of, and we could range in this crisis. And the other thing we do is a really, let's say, not also important, but really groundbreaking for, yeah, let's say this is really such a big thing for the foundation that we really had to spend years in planning and years of coordinating, but now we are in it. We are talking about reorganizing and modernizing the infrastructure and the whole experience of one of the best concert halls of the world. If you look at these two buildings, I don't know, you hope you can see my mouse. This on the right, this is the building which we talk about, and my office is in this building. This is the Mozarteum, and this building on the left side, this is where we have the Großer Saal, Great Hall of the Mozarteum, which is one of the best concert halls of Austria. And let's say it might not be, no, it might be the truth that it's one of the best of the world. Alfred Brendel, one of my most loved pianists, said that this is the place where the heart of Mozart is still beating, and he hopes that it will beat a long, long time. It's really one of the most wonderful concert halls I know, but it was erected and opened 1914. So directly when the First World War began, and more or less since then it hasn't changed. So there are a lot of things you have to improve now. If you look at the new ways, at the modern ways to make a concert, or the modern ways to have intermissions, and this was more or less the point where we started, because today between those two buildings there is it doesn't look like this. This is already how it will look like in 1.5 years. At the moment there is let's sort of a bridge, and there room for the intermissions where you can get your coffee and you get your champagne and some drinks, but the room has only 60 square meters. And the hall has place for 800 people. So this is the dimensions where we're talking about, where 1914 it seemed to make sense, but today it doesn't make sense even without Corona. If you put 800 people to go in a 60 square meter room to get a drink, it's chaotic. And this is the idea, to build a really new modern infrastructure and a new foyer to this wonderful concert hall. And that's what we started now. That's what's happening now, because the concert hall is empty. It's silent. We cannot hold concerts there. So we had the chance to really move forward and to start with these buildings. And this is really totally new for this old and really historical building, that we have a really, yeah, you see it here. We have construction. And this is sensational, let's say, for this 120-year-old structure and building. So this is November, and you see what's happening with there's full of work. We are fundamentally going down in the cellar floors. Everything is made new, and we are building the whole infrastructure around this hall to make it the best concert hall for the 21st century. Yeah, these are images which are really, for us, it's a joy to see it, but and hopefully 1.5 years it will be really brand new concert hall, brand new experience for every one of you, because normally you know, you have been invited. Kostas, Evgenia would have been here hopefully in January, But today we can take the chance, we can take the time to renovate and make things better. This is something where we will talk about a little bit later. Obviously, as we are really looking for financial help, one of the ideas is to really be grounded in the people and the community of Salzburg and the community of the Mozart friends and lovers, and therefore we have had the idea to recreate a stone which was made the first time 1910 when the building was made. This is the new idea, to have a stone like this 110 years later, and you can buy this stone for 1,000 euros, and obviously the 1,000 euros are directly helping us and going into the building and the construction financial. And then I don't know who of you had the chance to really participate. We had Digital Mozart Week. One of the highlights every year for us is the birthday of Mozart, 27th of January. And around this birthday, every year since 60 years, we celebrate the Mozart Woche, Mozart Week, which is a week full of concerts, week full of music, week full of Mozart here in Salzburg, with the best and the most important Mozart interpreters. Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, Daniel Barenboim, Cecilia Bartoli, Renaud Capuçon, you name it. We really have the most beautiful and interesting and really beloved Mozart interpreters every year here in the foundation to celebrate this birthday with a bunch full of concerts. And this is under the artistic direction of Rolando Villazón. And this year, yes, there was no audience, there was no chance to have a real and live concert like we know it. And we decided, I think it was 3 days before Christmas, to make a digital version of the Mozart Woche. So we had 10 days, 10 concerts in 5 days, live on stream, together with the ORF, which was a very big partner, together with our sponsors and together with the help of the land and of the state and the city of Salzburg, which made this possible. And it was, we had 8 days, I think, of really hurry and music and hush here in the foundation, because we had every day 2 concerts in the hall with, for example, the Vienna Philharmonic, and in front of an empty hall. This was a wonderful experience with 10 concerts, live concerts, 44 other programs we had, and obviously what we now will hear about more, the brand new and never heard premiere of Köchelverzeichnis 626B/16, which is the Köchel number for a piece of Mozart we could find, which is a sensation for these days. This is something Ulrich Leisinger, my colleague, will talk about later, but for us, obviously, it was the best and the biggest birthday present we could have and we could present to the world by bringing this piece, even without audience, in a live stream on his birthday, on Wolfgang Amadeus' birthday, together with Sang Ying Cho, one of the upcoming and best Mozart pianists to life. It was really a pleasure, and I hope we will hear it. I know we will hear it a few minutes played by Ulrich Leisinger, my wonderful colleague out of the research department. Again, the special thing about it is that it's not a fragment, it's not only a piece of something, it's really complete score of a piano piece of music not known of Mozart until now. So thank you very much. This is just a small impression of what we are trying to do here in Salzburg, despite of Corona and despite of all these problems. But again, we all have the spirit and the light of Mozart here in our hearts and in our house. And I know that every one of you, friends of and members of the Mozarteum Hellas, are in this with us together. And I hope this is really a strong bound we can talk about, and we all stand on. So thank you very much. Thank you, Evgenia. Thank you, Kostas, for having me and having us and talking about Mozart in these days is just a joy.
Thank you, Tobias. And as you already said, we are very close, and we missed this year that we couldn't manage to visit Salzburg. The first opportunity when regulation will allow us, restriction will allow us, we'll visit. And as you said, now we have a video that will see the more space for Mozart. That is exactly referring to the new area that's going to be the new foyer going to build in Stiftung. Andreas.
This is normal days. This is not now. This is pre-Corona.
Herzlich willkommen in unserem wunderschönen Mozarteum-Saal.
Das ist einer der besten Konzertsäle Europas, den wir da haben, der gefeiert wird vom Publikum und vor allen Dingen von den Künstlern. Einer der schönsten Konzertsäle mit der unvergleichlichen Akustik. Und der ist entwickelt worden und die gesamte Infrastruktur darum ist 1914 in Betrieb gesetzt worden, aber sie ist bis heute eigentlich nicht weiterentwickelt worden. Von den Toiletten bis über die Beleuchtung im Saal bis hin zu der Infrastruktur drumherum. Das heißt, ich habe einen riesigen Stau an verschiedenen Dingen, die ich beheben muss, um das dahin zu bringen, was man heute eigentlich erwartet.
Als Intendant der Mozartwoche ist es natürlich ganz wichtig für mich, für uns alle, für das ganze Team, dass unser Publikum so gut wie möglich fühlen kann. Und deswegen bin ich ganz glücklich, dass wir machen diese Modernisation, dass wir bauen, und diese Foyer, diese Pause-Foyer wird es größer. Man musste so machen, jetzt ist ein bisschen zu eng, manchmal ist es schwierig hier zu bewegen. Der große Saal Mozarteum, dieses wunderbare Gebäude, ist ein Geschenk für Salzburg, für das Publikum, für alle, die hier kommen, für uns Künstler. Und es besser zu machen, ist es ganz wichtig für alle. Ich glaube, es ist etwas, das man muss mit viel Freude machen. Es ist eine Verantwortung, die wir haben, so eine wunderbare Gebäude, so eine wunderbare Geschenk für Musik, für die Leute, für Salzburg, noch besser zu machen.
Als Architekten, die in dieser Stadt leben, wissen wir schon um die Sorge, die man wichtigen Salzburger Bauten entgegenbringt. Und natürlich ist das Mozarteum ein bedeutendes Gebäude. In diesem Sinne war es uns natürlich wichtig, diese beiden Bauten, also das Saalgebäude, das Schulgebäude, beide sind vom Entwurf her solitäre, als solche auch stehen zu lassen und letztlich das, was wir in diese Fuge hineingeben, nicht massiv werden zu lassen, sondern dass das sehr wohl auch wieder ein Fugenraum wird, ein leichter, durchlässiger Raum, und der eben nicht in Konkurrenz tritt zu diesen beiden Bauten des Mozarteums.
Es war im Grunde, wie du das jetzt auch beschrieben hast, ein Versuch, sozusagen Verbindung zu suchen, ohne die Fuge zu füllen. Also diesen Raum sozusagen zuzulassen, dass er für die Bespielenden offen und durchlässig bleibt und ist, und auch für den der jetzt von außen auf diese Situation blickt oder auch sie hineinbewegt. Also eigentlich diese Fuge für den Benutzer so zu sehen und für die Stadt mit den Gebäuden im Grunde auch als strukturelle Geschichte, dass die bestehenden Gebäude durch die Lücke etwas Qualitatives dazu bekommen, aber dass das nicht wegfällt und verschwindet.
Der Bastionsgarten liegt in etwa auf der Höhe des oberen Foyers, also im ersten Erdgeschoss. Aber es war von Anfang an unser Anliegen natürlich auch, die Stadtebene auf der Schwarzstraßenseite, auf der Salzburg-Seite an diesen Bastionsgarten anzubinden und in weiterer Folge natürlich auch an den Mirabellgarten. Über das Heckentheater, wo wir eben hoffen, dass das wiederhergestellt wird in den historischen Zustand, der auch dann erweiterter Teil des Pausenraumes oder der Pausenfreifläche sein kann. Über dieses Heckentheater wird man dann in den Mirabellgarten gehen können.
Ich denke, die Salzburgerinnen und Salzburger, aber auch unsere Gäste aus dem näheren Raum und auch international werden diese Veränderung äußerst begrüßen. Ich kann aus den bisherigen Reaktionen sagen, es ist ein äußerst positiver Zuspruch. Es wird das Siegerprojekt sehr, sehr willkommen und wohlgeheißen. Das ist bei zeitgenössischer Architektur eher die Ausnahme. Das verdient das Projekt aber auch, weil es diese zurückhaltende Qualität in sich trägt. Und es ist nicht nur unser Publikum, das diese Veränderung und auch diese Projektperspektive begrüßt. Es sind die vielen Menschen, die wir durch eine solche Veränderung auch ins Haus hereinbekommen können. Es sind die vielen jungen Menschen, die durchaus auch aus dieser zu traditionsreichen Ausrichtung, einem Saal, der mit Gold und Stuck und mit neoklassizistischen Elementen nur sozusagen strotzt, dass da auch ein Kontrapunkt gesetzt wird. Und das ist, glaube ich, auch für junge Menschen eine Form, wie man sich besser identifizieren kann.
Well, thank you, Tobias. Thank you for sharing the new building, well, part of the building, the new extension that will be really making magnificent the concert hall that is really amazing, that we have visited quite a few times. We look forward to be there in the opening. And now, as Tobias referred, and Mr. Votanopoulou, we have the honor to listen to Dr. Ulrich Leisinger, Director of Research of Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg, that will present the new Mozart piece 94 seconds. Ulrich, the floor is yours.
Γεια σου Evgenia, γεια σου Kostas, γεια σας εκτιμητικοί πρεσβευτές, χαίρετε φίλοι του Ιδρύματος Mozarteum Salzburg. Σας ευχαριστώ για την πρόσκληση, δυστυχώς μιλάω λίγο ελληνικά, επομένως θα μιλήσω για το νέο αλέγρο στα αγγλικά. So now I will turn to English in order to present briefly during 94 seconds the new Mozart piece. You probably are most interested, how does it come that after more than 80 years, for the first time, a new piece by Mozart reappears? And we have to confess that we could have completely destroyed this great event if we had acquired this piece already in 1900, when it was offered to us for the last time. At that point, the price would have been approximately 200 euros. We have paid a little more, but so we have a sensation. Good if we would have known that COVID is around or is facing, we would probably have said, no, we wait for another 120 years and buy it only in 120 years from now. I have been asked, how I did find this piece, and Rolando asked whether I was at a castle looking at old books, and there it was. No, it was very trivial. We got a phone call whether or not we would be interested in buying a new Mozart piece. And you will recall that Tobias mentioned that this piece has a number in the Köchel catalog, but so to speak, in a drawer where all those pieces are listed, of which we don't know anything besides that they once existed and nobody had seen them. It showed up several times in auction catalogs between 1900 and 1928, and then it disappeared. And as we know now, the reason was that it was acquired by an antiquarian bookshop owner in Paris, who sold it to an engineer, and the family of this engineer kept it for a long time. And kindly, they asked a specialist for advice what to do with it, and decided not to make the most money out of it, but to give it to the place where it most properly belongs. So let's just move on now to the short video which we have set up, because we have made the experience that presenting music in live through via Zoom does not really work. So we have a 5-minute video, and this is still homemade, so to speak.
Andreas, please.
We are very proud to present you something very special. For the first time in more than 80 years, an unknown piece by Mozart, a complete piece in his own handwriting, has been rediscovered. It was acquired by the Mozarteum Foundation just before the COVID pandemic, and we have to admit that under our current circumstances, we would not be able to afford it any longer. I have not brought the original, but a facsimile edition, which we have prepared and which is available to everybody. And the reason is that I did not take the autograph because I have to show you something particular. The autograph was folded at some point, and I can do this with the facsimile, but not with the original. Our librarian would really not like me to. And this shows that this piece of paper was at some point in a smaller format. We were called, Stephen Rowe, whom some of you may know as an employee of Sotheby's, called us, telling us he had an unknown Mozart autograph, whether we would be interested. Indeed, we were, and we brought it to Salzburg from Amsterdam, and we had a 2-week period to verify the authenticity of the piece. It makes a lot of sense to be very careful, and so we had 2 steps. First of all, we asked our regular conservator to check the quality of the paper and the ink, and she confirmed immediately that this was paper from the pre-industrial era and that the ink was made from Gallus iron, and so the paper definitely stemmed from the 18th century. So this was neither a modern fake nor merely a photocopy. The second step was a little more complicated, but we managed this as well, to verify that this is Mozart's own handwriting. Armin Prinzing, our librarian, and I were immediately convinced, but we asked colleagues from the Academy of Mozart Research for their advice, and all of them agreed that this is Mozart's own handwriting, that this is an unknown piece, and the Mozarteum Foundation should try to get it. We are able to present the facsimile edition of this. We have included the piece in the digital interactive Mozart edition, and we also have made a practical edition which you can download from our website. manuscript itself and the music has some peculiarities. It's not just a piano piece, but it's a piano reduction of an orchestral composition. In the middle section, you clearly hear the sound of oboes and horns. The manuscript does not show the typical signs and inscriptions showing that it came from the estate of the father. It does not say von Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and in his handwriting. Therefore, we are in the weird situation that the manuscript was in the possession of the son, but not the father. But this can also be explained because Franz Xaver Mozart had also inherited some Mozart autographs from his aunt, Maria Anna. She had kept pieces until the end of her life that were particularly dear to her and that were specifically prepared by her brother for her. Mozart wrote this piece, and the handwriting suggests a date of 1773, and he wrote this piece up and sent it to his sister in Salzburg, which explains the fault. She was therefore the first person who ever played this piece, and I'm pretty sure that she played it a little bit more professionally than I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Ulrich. Really much appreciated that you played this piece for us, this new acquired piece from Stiftung Mozarteum. This brings to the end of our event. Mozarteum Hellas plans to organize a series of events during 2021, of course, COVID permitting. You can visit our website, mozarteum.gr, for the latest news and events that we plan to organize. Again, we would like to thank the Austrian Embassy in Athens and Stiftung Mozarteum Salzburg, Professor Andreas Papatheodorou in the University of the Aegean, Her Excellency Hermine Poppeller, Dr. Tobias Debuch, and Dr. Ulrich Leisinger for speaking in our virtual event. Finally, the video of today's event will be available in Mozarteum Hellas website and YouTube channel, as long with the video that we just saw from Ulrich. Thank you for your participation today. And now you can open your mics and cameras and applaud the speakers for this event. Have a nice evening.